let's start our discussion for today that I'm sure that all of us are eagerly waiting for. So diversity and inclusion is, I'm sure, very close to our hearts. It's a very important topic these days. So I would like to know from Mohammad Moinul Huq, what is diversity and inclusion to you?
Thank you. Honestly, diversity, inclusion, and also equity, I think often they are grouped together because they're interconnected, and honestly, only in combination their true impact appears. At the same time, often these three terms are easily misunderstood as well. So for me, it's always important to go back to basics to understand the individual meanings of all these three terminologies and their implications. So I would just bear with me. I would just probably just go by the definition of these three important terms. Then probably we'll go into further detail. So the way I understand the diversity is refers to who is represented in the workforce. So some examples of diversity in workplace include like we have gender diversity. What makes up the composition of man, woman, and non-binary people in a given population. Then comes the age diversity. What makes up, what are people in a group from mostly one generation, or is there a mix of ages? Then we have this ethnic diversity, where do people in a group share some kind of common national or cultural tradition, or do they represent different backgrounds? Last but not the least, we now also have physical ability and neurodiversity perspective as well, which means are the perspectives of people with disabilities being considered or factored in? So this is more or less on the diversity. Now, if we now just come to the equity, which we know that refers to the fair treatment for all people, but often there is a confusion between equity and equality. And equity is significantly different from equality, because while equality assumes that all people should be treated the same, equity takes into consideration a person's unique circumstances and do the necessary adjustment so the end result becomes equal. Because people are different and one size doesn't fit all. We have different strengths, perspectives, qualities, and needs. So equity requires more thoughts, more creativity, collaboration. And obviously, equity is superior to equality when it comes to creating an inclusive environment where people can bring their full and true empathetic selves to work to give their best. Last but not the least, inclusion. So inclusion refers to how this whole workforce perceive the workplace, how they perceive the ambience of the workplace. And that's why companies which are focused on recruiting a diverse workforce must also strive to develop a sufficiently inclusive culture such that all employees feel their voices will be heard. And this is critical if organization really wants to retain their talent and unlock the power of the diverse workforce. So that's, I think, more or less, if we just look at it from a theory perspective, these are the three fundamental pillars of this DI, and I think the definition and implication. But to put the matter into perspective and just to convert the theory into some kind of more understandable manner, I would request Sharon just play video. I think that will put the matter into better perspective.
Sure.
多元包容的企业文化让每个人感受到自我价值。
एक सर्वसमावेशी संस्कृति वही है जिसमें सभी लोग एक दल की तरह काम करते हुए सार्थक परिणाम प्राप्त करते हैं。
多元且具包容性的文化，是每个人身在其中都能自在地展现不同之处。
Budaya inklusif ialah di mana suara semua orang didengar dan dihormati.
And the inclusive culture is where everyone is treated equally.
Sa kulturang inklusibo, nagbibigay suporta ang mga pinunong galing sa iba't ibang pinagmulan upang maitaguyod mo ang tagumpay na minimiti mo.
People often think that diversity and inclusion is only about gender, race, and ethnicity. One of the significant steps that Citi has taken is to create a platform to discuss disability under the same umbrella of diversity. This not only encourages others to disclose any disabilities that could impact their day-to-day at work, but also nurtures a safe and inclusive environment.
Engaging in advocacy and practices that support one another equips everyone with confidence to be who they truly are at work. It has been very important to me that my colleagues value my strengths and see my disability as an asset instead of a liability.
I have been supported by Citi for more than 20 years across different roles in businesses, segments, and markets. At Citi, I can count on visibility and transparency and respect, and that helps me bring my best self to work.
At Citi, we are encouraged to pursue our interests through clubs and committees that focus on different areas outside of our business as usual tasks. It feels good to know that the employees' personal interests are considered by the organization.
Equality and fairness in the workplace have nothing to do with gender or sexuality. Therefore, we believe that no member of staff should be treated any differently from one another.
I feel empowered to voice my opinions as long as they are substantiated and not infringing upon our diverse and inclusive culture.
At Citi, we celebrate differences.
We believe that each and every individual
Has something unique to bring to the table.
That everyone can belong in banking.
No matter who you are.
There is strength in diversity
and power in inclusivity.
Be empowered
To be your most authentic self at Citi.